folks, welcome to the Seven Figure Network podcast. My name is Melford Bibbins. Today I have Javier De Miguel with me, and it's so cool because we're just having a conversation. And you folks know, I mean, if you've seen any of my podcasts, you know that oftentimes it's folks who are in America and then trying to build internationally. Javier and his company are working from Scandinavia, working their way into the domestic market. So it's really cool. It's a very different way of expanding your base. So I'm so excited to ask him some of these questions and, just kind of figure out how they're moving. So Javier, thanks so much for being on the show today, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here, Melford. We've been following each other for quite some time now. And when you dropped me the message, I was like, absolutely, I'm in. So thank you very much for the time and for this time with you. And hopefully we can, put more some nuggets in the profession. We can help somebody.
Oh yeah, we're going to get the gold nuggets flowing. I love it, brother. So, hey, first and foremost, do me a favor and just tell me how you got into this industry in the first place.
Yeah, so actually it's a funny story. I'm not have this amazing success story in my beginning. I from Mallorca, and it's in a small island in the Mediterranean, from Spain. I born and raised there. When I was 17, my school teacher let me go. Like I was not the smarter teacher, like as smart as a student. And so I was like, actually we found a course to go to Michigan to finish my studies. Mm-hmm. So I finished my high school back in Michigan. I studied there and went back to Spain. I started traveling. I actually started studying for aviation. So my certification is in pilot. And the first time I heard about this profession was when I was back in Michigan. I was 17, 18 years old, and it became super, super negative for more than 8 years. Super, like every year, a friend or someone I knew, he came with different opportunities, different products, different things. And I was like super, super skeptical. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
And then at the time I was studying, I was working, I was studying. Basically, I had no life. Like the only like my social life, I also started working in nightclubs. So that way I feel like I was partying a little bit because I was working in a store, I was working in a nightclub, and I was studying the practical hours with my flying. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, that party was my social. So I went with a friend in one of the jobs in the store. And he was like, hey, you always talk about entrepreneurship, how you read this book. It was the name of Read That or That. And they start talking about this profession. And for me, that was like a big slap on my face because I was not smart with my money. I have debt because my because aviation courses are not cheap. So I was a student loan. I was with minus. I was changing my time for money like crazy. In summer, I was working in Ibiza, also in Mallorca, like having no time whatsoever, maybe like once or twice per month having a day off because it was just grinding, saving all the money to pay. So it was like, really, I had no idea how money works. And this book told me this industry was the best to start creating cash flow, learn about sales and start getting in the way of freedom. And I was like, hey, wait a minute. Is this industry I'm so negative about? I may have to start looking into it. So I look into it. I called one friend that I knew, and he was the typical person. He jumped from company to company every 6 months. So I was like, hey, which company are you now? And I want to hear about, but not from you, from someone who's having actual success. And actually, he put me together with a person. I saw the potential. I didn't sign up. Mm-hmm. It took me over 4 months. And I actually ended up signing with another group with that same company.
Classic story.
I have no idea about how that works. And it was a company, it was energy drink company, and it was around 500 euros to start with. And it was like, okay, I'm going to spend 500 euros, and I don't know if this tastes good or not. So I was studying in that time in Madrid. I contacted one guy. I tried it. I was like, okay, sounds good. And this guy, yeah, just sign up here. It was like, I have no idea how these things work. So I was like, I got my credit card, I paid there. So I was involved. And then I contacted my friend. I was like, dude, where you sign up? You know my system, like how that works. I was like, oh, I don't know. I just paid 500 euros. I got this email welcoming, and it was like, all right, I'm sorry. And now I don't know how to do it. And so I stayed with this. So of course, first experience was not great. It took me 4 months to make my first $20 in this profession. And I was talk about this story because I was back in my mom's house for visiting, and made me the first $20, and I was jumping and like crazy. And my mom is very sarcastic, and she was like, "What happened? Are you like, what's going on? What was that big news?" I was like, "I had like an big mom, it's $20." And my mom went back to the purse to give me €20. I'm like, "Hey, keep the change because €20 is." It's more than $20 now. And I was like, no, you don't get it. If I can do it once, I can do 1,000 times. That means $20,000, man. How many times you have seen $20,000 together in a check? So that was basically my mindset. I went to an event. I saw the possibilities into this industry. We actually organized an event from zero to almost 200 people together in one event. Together with we were three friends, and we started building it. And then 3-4 months later, the company closed down.
Oh,
so when we start seeing a bit of success, so you start seeing the checks and things start happening, boom! And I was like, wow. So we start looking for companies. We was like on another huge learning here. We follow the shiny thing, not things that we believe on. And we ended up signing in something that we didn't believe, and we stayed there for a very short time. But thanks to there, I met my mentor, and things happen always for a reason. I met my mentor. We become very good friends. We connect a lot. Either I was not a builder there, or I was just connecting, and we just built a relationship. He's Swedish Italian, and he actually called me in August 2016 to see my actual company that I'm right now with. And I went there, and it was love first sign. It makes sense for me, the products, the vision, everything, and feel like home first time. And from there, I was able to go full time after 4 months, and after 3 years, I was already having an income like a pilot. So that's when I left my courses, and now it's been 4 years living through the industry 100%.
Oh, that's fantastic, man. Yeah. So, sadly enough, in the last 4 years, you've had to deal with a couple of years of really bad. Your 4 years probably felt like 400. So tell me, what were you doing over these last couple of years when the world was just going crazy? And again, I'm not trying to be negative, but the world's just been going crazy. So, what did you do? Because was it a fairly new company when you joined?
So basically, I was there for 2 years and a half, almost 3 years in the company.
Yeah.
The company, it was very stable, but we built it very offline.
Gotcha.
I was very building offline, not doing too much things on social media, typical things, traveling, posting, but not really have a method or any system to building online. So when that happened, as leaders, we need to adapt. Either we learn and we grow, or we complain and we die, right? So it's like, okay, I need to start learning and growing in that area. So I actually hired a coach inside the profession that he was more building online systems and ways how to start creating it. And because I needed to learn. And I really believe, success leaves clues. So if someone is already done it and someone know how to do it, why not learn from people who have more experience and knowledge about these fields, right? So we need to shift everything from offline to online. And actually the first months, it was a little bit challenging because it was a lot of learning and a lot of adapting in all the things. But if we look in the overall process, our business grew in these 2 years. We grew from 3,000 customers to over 10,000 customers in these 2 years.
Wow, triple.
Yeah, triple.
I love something that you just said, and I want to make sure that people understand is you were trying to do something new, and you hired a coach. You were smart enough to do that. And the reason I'm making that point is because you said the first month was hard, and then it caught on. If you hadn't had that coach, how many months would it have been hard for?
Yeah, I don't know.
Still now. Still today.
Yeah, because it's funny. It's when you see people in same company or same industry, and then they didn't adapt, and it's like, oh, I just gonna wait when the world come normal. But we don't know. Right. We didn't know how long it was going to take. I don't know what's going to be 1 month, 3 months, 1 year, 2 years as being actually. So we need to make movement fast. And I think this was such a learning experience. When things happen, we need to act fast and learn on the way. So, yeah.
So we just talked about growth, and growth was your paradigm shift to moving online, getting a coach, learning how to do it right, and then just following the steps day in and day out. Did you work with him or her? I don't know if it was a man or a woman. Did you work with that coach on retention as well, or was it just on the growth strategy through social media?
So it was like a 90-day program on how to start active building in social media to engage, because on the how to retention, well, as we were talking before, we very based on customers.
Yes.
And we have a huge communication in customers, and we actually retention of our customer average is 18 months. So we have a program, a system on retention, but it was the way to getting in, how to get interested and how to look from the previous way they used to do it to online. So that was basically what he was teaching us as well, how to start, doing the basis online versus offline. So yeah.
So I'm going to utilize the big money that you spent on your coach, and I'm going to ask you to give a tip or two for free. So my folks don't have to pay for it this day. Can you give a tip or two about what, because again, we talked about the pivot. We talked about the fact that, you were an offline guy, you were seeing success offline. Obviously the thought of online wasn't probably even in the hemisphere until it had to happen. So can you give us 1, 2, 3, however many tips you want as to what you did to make that shift? Like what was uncomfortable during that first month that all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, it really worked. Could you give us a few of those, please?
Yeah, of course. The first one, I love what he did at the beginning. It was like, okay, I want you to think about process areas of your life that you had a challenge and you actually were successful, because that way we start, changing your paradigm and like, okay, I overcome like different obstacles. I'm already being successful. So it started changing. Okay, this is going to be an obstacle, but of course, once you learn this obstacle, you're going to be, you're going to win through this situation. So I love that part because I'm very into mindset, a lot, like all this part as well. So I love that area. The first, it was working on who you are, right? So be, act, and have. Yes. So he was first working out with the B, and then it was we had a coaching every single week on the adjustment, and the things we were doing is pretty much basis, because we confuse so much with the online and we think it's so much different, and it's like, no, at the end of the day it's the same. Who is the person behind the screen? Is a person. Right. It's another person. So person has feeling, has emotion. So how you start creating conversation, how to interact. You maybe feel more comfortable with Facebook, someone feel more with Instagram, someone with Twitter, someone with TikTok, whatever it is. Yeah. So at the end of the day, is to create conversations. The more conversations you can create, the more people can be later interested into your business. So number one, number two, the second topic, like the second thing it was like, don't think it's a different world. Like it's only a different tool, but it's exactly the same, because the basics are the same. People are the same. Things are the same. Of course, here the numbers, when we're building it online, the good thing, you can approach a lot of more people, but the numbers are a bit, the ratio are lower. So usually when you have 1-to-1, maybe it can be like 3-to-1 or 1-to-5 conversion. Maybe when you're doing online, it can be 1-to-20. 1-to-40, 1-to-50, maybe 1-to-100. I don't know what's your numbers, right? Yeah. You can actually in one day contact 30, 40, 50, 60, 100. So it was understanding the basics. The online and offline is exactly the same. It's people behind, always looking for what is the need in the person, transfer the feeling, how we can actually help with the products and service, and actually see if this can be the opportunity for her or him. And so basically was put it in a simple way that I was understanding that I was not doing anything differently. I was just only using a different tool. So instead of being in the gym and be like, start opening a conversation, I can jump on a profile. I can use hashtags. I can use, people in different people interests, and see the people profile, the person profile. And if I see something that I like, something that I can connect, you can, click a couple likes, you just go to the invoice, you text them, hey, I just saw your profile, I like X, Y, and Z, because we all love to hear what we hear, and we need to be honest, and we need to be straightforward. I'm not going to be like just chit chatting and it's like, hey, by the way, no, like, hey, I like your profile, I like this, and because the reason is And then I was just sharing in open conversations and finding if this can be an opportunity for them.
Did you feel like you had to carry on a conversation for a long time? So it sounded like you'd talk to them, you'd tell them that you love what they did, and then you would get right to the point. Did that work best for you? Was, really getting to the point of, or did you want to carry on a conversation? Because again, there's almost this debate between, do I engage with these people for weeks on end talking about their kids and their puppies and everything else, or do I just get right to it and then move on to the next one? Which one worked best for you personally?
I think it's depending of you, as you say, personality and what it feels more natural. So for me, I hate my phone. It's true. I use it because it's my tool, and I feel like I'm spending so more time in my phone that I don't want to be so much more extra time with that. Yeah. So my personality, I don't want to be just like chit chatting or whatever like this. I always want to go more straight to the point, and some people like it, some people not. But I'm not gonna go through all the information. Yeah. What I'm gonna do is like a little like a speech what I have, not exactly, but it's like, hey, how you doing? I saw your profile. I like this, what X, Y, and Z. And I'm just wondering if you're open for new opportunities. Like maybe it can be something like this, very straightforward. Or maybe I'm wondering if you are open to listen. Hey, I'm working with something that we related in the health and wellness with this, and then maybe it can be interesting for you. So I go very straight to the point. So he or she knows I'm going through talk about this, and then my goal is to take it to a Zoom call. So basically, once I'm on a Zoom call, then I'm going to talk. Yeah. Then I'm going to have a conversation because I feel more comfortable myself having a call like this than texting.
Ditto.
Also, when it's one thing that people love is doing audio or video. They can see you, say, hey, great profile, I love about this, whatever. They see you, they feel you, that you have different energy, and people is going to be like, it's going to be different because it impact them, not just a random text, right? So do things to impact also people so they can be interested to create that conversation. And then I move that conversation to Zoom mostly, or phone call, into Instagram call, Facebook call, or WhatsApp calls. So I can start interacting, and there is where I'm doing the questions, and they actually start seeing what is the need that person has. So when I'm texting, go straight to the point. I want to sit down with them. I want to talk to them about something I'm doing, something I'm expanding, something I'm excited, something I'm doing, or whatever. And there, when I'm on a Zoom call, then is the interaction, finding the needs, find the hot bottom, the form, family, occupation, recreation, money, and and everything there.
Oh, that's great. Hey, it's a lot of the folks that listen to this started building in America and then went outside the country. I would love to know, and again, I'm sorry that I'm harping on the social media thing, but it's just so powerful right now, and I really, it's like I love asking these questions. What countries did you get the best reaction from doing this?
So I focus a lot locally, because I feel like when you know the situation where it's happening in your area, you can you can relate. So you already connect in that thing, or maybe your company is expanded to a new country. Yeah. And so always find the good thing online, as we're talking, is finding things that you have in common. And so many times we overthink, like, oh, I need to find, like, for example, I want to expand it to France, let's say, and you need to find a French people. Maybe you just look at an American who lives in France, and he can be the door opener to French market, right? And you already have a great connection. Hey, let's say that you are in France. Hey, Melford, how are you? I saw that you're living in France right now. How's the situation there? I'm hearing back in the US, and back in, like you are in Florida, so I'm here back in Florida, and I want to know how's the situation in France. And you just create a conversation. Hey, may or may not be for you what I'm doing, but if you're opening, my company's expanding to France, and we will be good to have a conversation. And that way, that conversation can lead to another conversation, can lead to sign up, that person can lead to another connection there, and that's how you can start building. Because that way, organically, we'll build through France. That's an example, and also Romania. At the same time, we built in Spain. So I was focused on building connections here, but then I was connected to one lady, and this girl opened the door to actually have 1,500 customers in Romania, and then another conversation lead to have over 1,000 customers in France. So one conversation, you never know what one conversation can lead you in. So often, I don't know, makes sense.
Is that so? Again, before we hit the old go button here and started recording, we were talking about what you got going on, and you're bouncing around America right now.
Yeah,
you are leading the charge for your company into America right now. Is that how you started your American build? Did it start off of social media, or actually? But you said you lived in Michigan for a while, so like which one was it? Was it the fact that you spent a lot of time in America, or did you go social media wise to start this big American expansion you have going on?
So basically, one of my team he's from Norway, and she is a very good rank in the company. It's a very good rank in the company, and she actually just moved here. A year ago, and actually helping her with expansion here. And the way because a few months ago they was planning to come over here, then we start approaching people on social media to start creating more connections and more interactions with people over here, because now that we are here, we can start acting on different places. So one, as I said before, one person can lead to a new community, and this new community can expand. For example, this it was a year ago, she decided to start expanding here, and thanks to just that mix of online offline, we started expanding also to Utah and Vegas, and then now also start expanding to California and all the things. So I would say it's always the good virus, right? One thing is going to infect the other one, another one, and then you see how fast this can go, right?
Oh, that's great. Hey, do me a favor. I know that some folks are going to be, listening to this on their phone, driving in their car. What is the best way for them to contact you personally?
Both Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp. Facebook and Instagram is my full name, Javier D without the E, Miguel Coll, Coll. So and then WhatsApp as well is a Spanish number, so maybe I can leave that in your box on your Facebook group.
I'm doing the best I can to pull all the Americans over to WhatsApp. It's a struggle.
No one is using WhatsApp. I was like, hey, what's your WhatsApp number? It's like, what? Like, okay.
That is a prospecting platform. Talk about revealing a gold nugget here out of the blue that I wasn't even thinking about talking about. If more Americans spent time on WhatsApp, their prospecting would go through the roof, because the rest of the planet uses it. We're the only ones that don't use WhatsApp. Everybody else is on there. I get spammed on WhatsApp constantly. People don't even realize, you're kind of like, it's not even people trying to sell something. It's just weird people reaching out of the blue. So if you actually had a real message on WhatsApp, you'd kill. But anyways, little side gold nugget I figured I'd throw in there for a second. So, hey, do me a favor and tell me, I know you got a lot going on, but what is your 6-month goal?
My next 6-month goal, I'm actually in the middle range of my comp plan. Actually, we have 14 ranks in my comp plan. So, and then we can go up to 21 because, typical adding stars. Yeah. So I'm halfway now. So my goal in the end of the year is to reach the 14 ranks by actually triple my business again.
Oh, love it. And now I want to ask you the big one. What's your 6-year goal?
My 6-year goals. So actually it's one, as a sales organization and as a sales organization, let's say, is let me calculate here, because I can tell you the rank is called like 3-star, but that doesn't mean anything.
we all know the numbers are what matters.
Exactly. So it's around 800,000 euros in profit. So that's around let's say 20 million sales per month, something like this.
Yeah, love it. That is a heck of a goal, brother. Yeah, love it, love it, love it. We're going to try and help you out any way we can. So, hey, Javier De Miguel, thank you so much for being on today, brother. This has been so much fun. I love getting to talk to you because we're just coming from a different angle. And it's an angle that I know a lot of people want to know, because getting international penetration, be it into America or out of America, is incredibly important right now. It's always been important in the past for this industry, but it's never been more important now. And it's exactly what we've talked about. This level of connectivity, the fact that people from around the globe have mutual interests. Just because somebody's from China or Australia or someplace else doesn't mean they don't love the same dog you love, the same sports team you love, the same anything you love. So I just love the fact that we were able to really dig deep into the fact that that's how you can build a team, both online and internationally. It's just finding mutual things to talk about.
Yeah. And that's the thing, as you say, people have interest, interest about sports, and you maybe do a type of sport that you're going to be interested with someone in Australia.
Yeah.
And people feel in this, what is happening these last 2 years, people are in the need of connecting again. People wants to be more connected. It's been too much time like in a screen and out of the world right now. So people are missing this human interaction, is missing this connection again. And it doesn't matter where it is from. It doesn't matter where it's happening. It's everybody go through the same things, because cultures can be different, but everybody looking for the same: to be happy, to provide for the family, to be healthy, to have enough to so they can live well. And actually, as you see, I love traveling. That's one of the things I like the most, because maybe it's my previous experience as a pilot that I like traveling so much. And this year also, it doesn't matter if you are in Dubai and with Arabs, so it doesn't matter if you are in East Europe or North Europe or here in the United States. At the end of the day, everybody's looking for the same. So remember always people is connecting with people. So be a human, because people forget to be a human. Be you, because people are going to like you. Some people will, some people not. So you don't have to try to like everybody. And also it's important to have fun, I think, building this business. And I always say one phrase: it's like you have to be impatient with the activity, impatient with the results, because you have done the right activities, the results will come. So focus on the activities. What's the DMO that you can do every single day, daily method of operation, and start believing and dreaming much more bigger than you're doing right now, because anything is possible. And thanks to the programs like I'm Up for Has, I show you possibilities of this industry can do for you and provide for other people. So use this platform to build beliefs, and then go out there and make it happen, because people are waiting. And I can say, if it wasn't because my mentor called me after 2 failures, I was negative again. I was skeptical. I was hurt about this profession, but because he truly, genuinely cared about me, he truly showed that when he called me up and he invited me to look into this company and to get into the industry again. My whole life had changed. My whole family life had changed. Everything had changed. And I say, what we have is so big and so important that we need to share with the world. Some people will like it, some people not. Who cares? You just focus on the vision and the mission. Don't try to be a mercenary. Go to be a missionary. So being a mission to help people, to change people's life, and have fun doing it.
So good, man. Even if people just caught the last 2 minutes of what we talked about, it was worth coming on, because that was just such a great summary of what you got to do, how you got to do it, and how you keep plugging along. Javier, that was great. Thank you so much for being on today, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks, pal. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Hey there. I hope you really enjoyed the show. And now I have a question to ask. Do you want to know how to build a 7-figure network with just 3 to 5 enrollments a month? That's just 3 to 5 conversations, not 30 to 50. That means we only have to convince 3 to 5 people to say yes to build a real 7-figure network. Scan the code or click the link at the bottom of this page now to discover the step-by-step method for exactly how you can add hundreds, if not thousands of customers to your downline by recruiting and enrolling businesses and health professionals onto your team that have hundreds of built-in customers that need your product or opportunity. Get the Seven Figure Network book now, and let's start building massive volume with an enormous downline of businesses, health professionals, and customers.